Live in Color with the Master Your Mind workshop. Here we are. Here we're growing. We are here. It is Monday. It is Make a Move Monday. What have you done this Monday that has got you closer to your goals today than you were last week? What is it about Mondays that some people dread and they want to run away from Mondays? But to me, Mondays is the day that you are able to create your week and you are able to conquer. So, making a move Monday, it's a mindset. What moves can we make to better our mindset to be able to move forward towards our goals? I want to share with you all something that I had a conversation with one of my clients, and it dawned on me that a lot of times we boil ourselves into such a frenzy, right? We get so heated, we get so stressed out, we get so down, even to the point that we feel like there's something literally boiling inside of us, right? And if you got boiling hot water, right, if you got a pot of boiling hot water and you put an ice cube in it, it's not going to do nothing to the water. The ice cube is going to melt, right? So those are our thoughts in our mind daily. Those are boiling thoughts. Those are thoughts are like, I'm not good enough. I'm never gonna make it. It's too late. I can't afford it. I mean, whatever it is that those bad thoughts that disempower you and make you shrink, those are the boiling waters, right? So what my coach and I was talking about, and it dawned to me, it was like, what if you take a whole big 5 pound bag of ice and you just throw it on top of this boiling water? So one small ice cube won't do nothing to the boiling water, but a 5 pound bag of ice, it is going to definitely cool down that water to the point where it's either going to take over depending how much water it is, and it's going to put out the burn, or it's going to cool it down for enough time that it has to then reheat again so that it can start boiling. What I want you to think about is your mindset and those thoughts in your mind as you're stressed out in the middle of the day, as you're thinking about maybe you're getting closer to your pay week and you're thinking about all the bills you got to pay, you're calculating, and you have these boiling moments. I want you to breathe and think about what cool water, what 5 pounds of ice do you have around your home, in your library, and here in this home that can cool off those thoughts. And what I want to share with you is a technique that I use. It's a system, and it helps not only put that 5 pounds ice on that fire boiling sensation that you're feeling, but it's also something that you can continuously do so that the water don't get to boil, right? So if instead of waiting for yourself to get into an anxiety attack or waiting for yourself to get into that boiling point to then look for help, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? No, how about before you get there, you already start cooling it down so that it never gets to boil. So how does that look like in your regular life? Well, it looks like this. Have you ever noticed that if you have an argument with someone or a disagreement, have you ever went back home and replayed and something in your mind and you're like, dang, I should have said this, or I should have done that, or why didn't I answer like this? Or and you, I don't know about you, but I've done it. I've done it. I done had whole conversations with my supervisors, my coworkers, all at home, right? Because it's something that I was boiling about. And I want to help you with that. Because one thing is that when we walk around incomplete, we walk around disempowered. So never allow anyone to take that away from you, to take your power away. Never allow anyone to have that much power over you. So you can practice what I love to call, it's Holy Spirit given. He's my ghostwriter, the 5 A's. And if you can, just remember, high five. I can high five myself in the mirror. I did this challenge for 90 days a couple of years ago. And it is impossible to high five yourself in the mirror and stay without smiling or do it with an attitude. Try it. You can't do it. Why? Because never, ever, 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 ever in your life have you just given somebody a high five with an attitude. for no reason or because you were upset. No. So the high five, the brain does not connect high five with a bad reaction or a disempowering reaction. It connects it with something happy. So when I think about the 5 A's, I think about I'm going to give me a high five. And what is the 5 A's? Well, awareness. Become aware of your circumstances in the room, in the conversation, in the meeting, in the conversation with your spouse, in the conversation with your children, any conversation, any place that you are in. Just become aware. And what I mean become aware is we deserve to practice our discernment. We all have discernment, but discernment comes with practice. How do you practice discernment? You practice by spending more time with your source, by spending more time with your creator, right? So when you have the spiritual intelligence, right, you can become aware of things that are off in a room that are not physical, but that you can discern that something's off. Okay, so you become aware. You become aware of something that's or someone or even yourself, right? You become aware. Then you can acknowledge. You know what? I acknowledge that. You know what? Maybe it's not the right time or space to say something. My friends, there is power in silence. Power in silence. The word listen is written in the word silence as well. So if we become silent, then we start listening. We can listen to what's really going on in the room. What are people really saying without saying what they're saying through their words? Okay, so having that awareness and become and acknowledging what's going on in the room. What am I speaking? Who's speaking? How am I responding? Am I aware of my facial expressions? Am I picking up their facial expressions? Or that's part of the 5 A's: awareness, acknowledgement, and then accept it. Acceptance is so important because if we don't accept things, we get stuck in being upset, boiling our temperature in situations and spaces and places that we cannot control. Okay. And one thing that we can do always, that we always have control over is staying silent and being able to pray. Let me tell you, it feels good to be able to tell on God on people when they do things to me. I learned that is a superpower. Do you remember when you were a young child and anybody did anything to you? You would run and go and tell your mama, your auntie, your older cousin, your older siblings, right? You will run and tell. And what would happen? Either the person that you were going to tell on would be like, no, 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 don't say nothing. Okay, I'm sorry, right? Or when you would go and tell your guardian, your parents, someone that was there to defend you. You don't have to do nothing, but just go and tell. And here they came to rescue you and to defend you. And I'm telling you that the same thing works with God. When people try to offend you, the offense is going to come. It's what we do with that offense. Are we going to take that and we're going to run with it? And we're going to be like, you know what? Boop, 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 touchdown. And that's really a fumble for God. Holy Spirit's looking at you like, right? Or are you going to take the offense and say, nah, boop, I'm going to pass this, right? Because the simple fact is not about you not getting offended. People are going to offend you. Whether you want to or not receive it is up to you. What you do with it, right? I received the offense and I'm like, let me go to my 5 A's. Let me high five. So in my mind, I have this technique that when people really, really offend me or upset me or I'm triggered, I smile. And when I smile, it reminds me not to flip out. When I smile, I see myself high five. And when I high five, I'm like, I'm aware of my circumstance. I'm aware that I'm saved. We're not ratchet no more. Like, really, you really talk to yourself. I'm aware of my circumstances. I'm going to acknowledge what's going on here right now. Let me accept the fact that I can't control the situation. So we're going to breathe and we are going to respond and not allow this enemy, this devil, this Karen, this supervisor, this employee, this customer, whatever, to come and have power to take me out of my character. No, 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 no. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You do not give people that, right? You don't give them the satisfaction to see you out of your character, to see you go off, to see you, for they could be like, oh, I knew. We don't do that. So when we high five and we practice the 5 A's and we say, you know what? I'm going to accept it. What's the next part? The best part. We adjust accordingly. See, my energy is currency. Okay? So it costs nothing to enjoy the energy I bring to you. Oh, but when you turn around and you acting funny, my energy is going to switch up on you. You don't get that high vibrancy from me no more. You don't get to experience me on that level. I still am on the high vibrancy. You just don't get to be on that level with me. Why? Because your energy just went to the bottom. And that energy that you gave off is not going to allow you to be able to vibrate with me up here. So see, I'm always going to be up here. We are always, yes, always royalty, kingdom. We're always going to have our crown. Kings, queens, we're always going to have our crown. And we're always going to vibrate high. But when they vibrate and they try to act funny, I come from the Bronx, y'all. We say 3 things. There's only 3 kind of people. There's funny money, there's fake money, and there's true money. How is that? If you're true to this, we can flow with you. You true money. You real. You're the real deal. You see, what you see is what you get. Whether I'm in church, out of church, grocery store, at work, it's the same person. Same, right? You got them people who be funny money. So they be funny sometimes. You don't know when they're all right, when they're not all right, when they're gonna be cool, when they're not gonna be cool, when they want to share their lunch with you, when they don't, when they want to give you something for free, when they want to charge you. I can't mess with that. Then there's the ones that straight up fake. They smile in your face and talk behind your back. Listen, people are going to do what people do. We can't waste our time, our currency, our energy, our mind worrying about small things. There's a young girl who came to me and asked me for some advice, and she said, how do you do that? How are you so resilient? I saw the conversation. I saw what happened, and you just remained. And I said to her, I'm going to share something with you, sweetheart. Because she was perplexed. She couldn't understand how I was in a state of peace and calmness after what just went on. So I shared with her the 5 A's. And I said to her, we're going to adjust accordingly. And how do we adjust accordingly? Guess what? Now, the high vibration and the fruit and the abundance that I was so willingly giving, I'm not giving anymore. So now it's like when you're cooking food and people are not hungry for what you have, but then you have a line of people who are starving for what you have, and you go and you feed them because they deserve and they're looking for what you have. Another thing I told her is, when I read this book a while ago, and I'm thinking it's time for a reread. I love to reread books after I grow, for a certain amount of time, or years or whatever, because you learn to read differently with more matureness and things that happen to you, right? So I said, there's this book called it's called Instinct from T.D. Jakes that I read, and hi. Thank you. You got your helmet on. Come say hi, guys. Come and say hi. These are my babies. I don't know if you can see them. This is Coda. Come here, Coda. Say hi. Come on. Oi. Say hi. This is Coda. And Tyson's over there. So, what was I saying? I got rudely interrupted. I'm sorry. They just want to take care of me. They always take care of me. Make sure I have my tea, my snacks. Some of my family does. So, adjusting accordingly. Yeah, the book Instincts by T.D. Jakes. That book was so fire because it taught me something. The whole book is amazing. Um, but there's one thing that I always took from that book that I always say, and I was able to analyze it in the moment of that conversation where it was very easily for me, the old me, to have become irritable, upset. I mean, I could have been a mess over this, right? But I adjusted accordingly. And what I remembered in my brain, because see, you can stand on the books you read, was that book Instinct when T.D. Jakes spoke about a giraffe and a turtle. And he spoke about it in a sense that it freed me in a sense where he was saying the giraffe is an animal that has a long neck and it can only eat at the top of the trees. Okay. And then he went to explain that in the long neck, the esophagus of a turtle, I mean, of a giraffe, right? It's so long that it has to eat up on the trees on top, right? But then you have a turtle, and the turtle's this little thing, and it has a little neck, and it doesn't stretch very much. But it could never go to the level of where the giraffe is, right? But guess what? Sometimes the turtle is on its own level, doing its thing, and it may come across a giraffe. And the giraffe can't really hear the turtle. The turtle can't hear the giraffe. But if the giraffe takes time to come down and try to explain and talk to the turtle so the turtle can hear the giraffe will die. It cuts off its circulation. The cords are not able to bend and stay down for so long. So what does that mean, my friends? When someone you cannot argue or even converse or express or explain to someone who cannot see past their own perspective. They can't see past this. It is not your job to come down from where you're at and try to explain to the turtle on where it's at because you're going to suffocate and die. Now, I didn't say there was anything wrong with the turtle. I didn't say that the turtle was wrong. I didn't say the turtle was right. I didn't say the turtle was better or less than. But it's a turtle. And a giraffe is a giraffe. Stay in your lane. That's all that means. Don't try to over explain yourself. I learned that the hard way. So many years I spent so much time trying to explain myself to people and express myself and just who cares? As long as you know what you're doing and you know where you're going and you know the vision. One of my mentors told me one time, and I stuck with this. They said to me, why are you trying to converse with demons about a vision that God gave you? He didn't tell you to go and converse with nobody about that. He gave that to you. He gave you that vision. He showed it to you. And you're sitting here trying to explain it to people who can't understand it because you barely understand it yourself. So now just listen. Listen and be silent. And whatever God shows you and whatever plans he shows you, you write them down and you run with it. You don't explain it, you don't show it, you don't rejoice with no, but let them rejoice with you after it's done if they want to, right? But the mind, the mastering your mindset, this is why the Master Your Mindset workshop is so important. And I really want you guys to come into the private Zoom next week and let's do this on the private one-on-one so that we can actually take questions and answers and go to work in every area that you want to go to work, because the 5 A's works in every area of your life. The 6-step system, the thank system, the thoughts, the habits, the action, the nourishment, the knowledge, and the skill set and spirituality, that works in every area of your life. That system is built for you to be able to succeed in every area of your life. And when I mean every area, I mean your faith, your health, your wealth, the way you pray, the way you pray and talk to God changes up so differently when you spend more time intentionally with him. Anything intentionally, anything you focus on grows because you're focusing on that one thing. right? And you have your attention to that. So, of course, if you learn how to grow and you learn how to spend time and you learn how to master your mind, you're going to be able to be a powerhouse. And when those negative thoughts come, you have a tool that you know what to do. What you're going to do, because we're leaving right now, I'm rocking out with this. Next time those disempowering thoughts come in your mind, I want to hear it from you. Put it in the chat. I want to hear it from you. I want to see the high five. High five. Think of me, my friend. Think of me. If any of those empowering thoughts come in your brain ever again, I want you to think of me and I'm out. I'm going to give you this last nugget and I'm out. I literally, if I didn't have my phone on this side over here, I would show you. I literally have this on my phone every single day at 1 p.m. I have an alarm in my phone and it's also in my calendar. Okay. And the intention is this, is to disrupt the enemy, because the enemy will try to talk to you all day in your head and there's nothing nice that he got to say. So I disrupt that every day at 1 o'clock. And I put a reminder on my phone that says anything that disempowers you is not allowed. Okay. And then you high five. So at any day, any given moment, that alarm rings and I could be in a bad mood, good mood, joyful, whatever it is. It interrupts and it reminds me to speak back, to the way Jesus spoke back to the enemy, because all he had to say was, it was written. High five. That's right. Yes. High five. Promise me, my friend, that the next time you have a disempowering thought, you're just going to high five. And you're going to remember the 5 A's. You're going to remember to become aware, to acknowledge, to accept, and to adjust accordingly and pivot. Pivot and swing. You don't pivot and block. You pivot and swing. Swing, bada, 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 swing. Right, Kathy? Holy Spirit, I love it. You shut down the enemy's influence. Yes, we do. That's what we do. And we set our minds. We set our minds on Christ. We set our minds on what it is that he said about us, right? It's written. It is written. So if it's written, anything else that empowers you is not allowed. High five, friends. Shalom.